What's up, everybody? This is the Uncanny Omar. Thank you again for joining us for Map My X, one of my favorite segments to do on this channel. This is where me and my friends get together to talk about mapping out these possible omnibuses, omniboo, omnibuy, whatever you call them, that might come out in the future. So I always like to make it clear that I am not announcing New Mutants Omnibus Volumes 2, 3, and 4, because I'm not wearing a suit, for one thing.
I am, but that's just my natural state of affairs. It means nothing.
Peter's always wearing a suit.
Yeah.
And this is just a dream mapping. Like, what if we were designated the job of like mapping out these big books? So I'm going to introduce my guest that I have with me. To my right is this lady right here, Ødfel.
Hello.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Ødfel. I am a cosplayer and comic fan, and I'm excited to be on here. This will be my first time doing this, so I'm very excited.
Thank you. Where can people find you? Where are you at?
Honestly, does my screen name show up, or is that just us?
No, that's you.
Should be on there.
Us, everybody sees that.
So that spelling with an O on most platforms and a 0 on Twitter, and you can find me on pretty much everywhere with that.
All right. Welcome, Ødfel. Great addition. Map My X is no longer a sausage fest. Thanks a lot. Is that all you see? Is that all you see? I appreciate that. All right. Below me is my buddy Peter. Peter, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you?
I am widely known on the internet as Crisis with a K. Many omnibus and collected edition fans have seen my website, crushingcrisis.com, which has a huge section that maps all of Marvel into collected editions and a good bit of DC as well. That's called Crushing Comics. So I also have a number of Crushing Comics shows on YouTube. We recap all the X-Men books every week and discuss them, as well as a classic X-Men reread. So you can find me around the web as either Crisis with a K or Crushing Comics.
There you go. And across below, whatever.
Over here.
Over there. That guy right there, Ryley, the Omnibus Collector. Who are you?
I'm the Omnibus Collector. You can see me on my YouTube channel. I talk about comics, and I do talk about a lot of manga. I've got a bunch of my manga behind me, but I'm sitting here because I also have my X-Men figures up above my head.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, check out my YouTube. I've got a couple things that I'm working on right now, and I guess that's it. That's who I am at the moment.
Could change.
Absolutely. Before the stream is over, this could change. So thank you, every one of you all that are watching this live right now. Everybody chill. Go grab a drink, popcorn, or whatever you all want. All right. Hello, Ødfel. Sub to the rest. I like that. Classy. All right. So today we got the important task of mapping out New Mutants Omnibus. We'll start with number 2 first, because we haven't decided how many there's going to be. We do know that New Mutants goes all the way to 100 for Volume 1. There's already an Omnibus Volume 1. And anybody got that handy, what that collects?
I got it.
My man.
That works.
So here we've got the standard cover. This has Marvel Graphic Novel number 4. New Mutants numbers 1 through 34, New Mutants Annual number 1, Marvel Team Up 149, Marvel Team Up Annual number 6, Uncanny X-Men 160, 167, 180, 189, and 192, as well as Magic 1 through 4 and material from Marvel Team Up number 100.
Okay. So, with that being said, that takes us all the way up to 34, being the last issue collected in there. So we still have some Chris Claremont stuff left over afterwards. Why don't we, I know I'm putting you on the spot, but ladies first. It's your first time. I'm going to break you in right. Why don't you go ahead and tell us what you think should be in a possible Omnibus Volume 2, and then we'll take it from there, adding or taking away things, whatever we see fit. How many pages, just out of curiosity before she starts, Ryley, how many pages are we looking at in that omnibus?
Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to jump on Diamond.
Amazon claims 1,272.
What's that?
Have they said the page count, just what's not in it?
No, we're just guessing what we would want to put in there.
Yeah. That's
But
all.
the page count for the first one is 1272.
So 1,272 pages
Okay.
collecting this stuff down here at the bottom. So again, Marvel Graphic Novels number 4, which introduces us the cast of New Mutants 1 through 34, Annual 1, Marvel Team Up 100. So glad that's in there. 149 and Team Up Annual number 6, Uncanny 160, 167, 188, 189, 192, and the Magic miniseries. I love that they have all this Uncanny, so it's going to be interesting to map this out. All right. Now, ladies first.
So
what do you think? How do we kick this off?
Yeah, so I don't think it should start with New Mutants per se chronologically, because looking through it, like 35 is kind of a leap plot-wise from 34. So probably like New Mutants Special Edition, and then X-Men Annual 9, and then I would put Uncanny X-Men 200, because it doesn't make 35 won't make sense without the context of 200. I feel like otherwise you're just like, wait, why is Magneto here now? So it's not necessary, but I think 200 would be helpful there. I don't know if that's something that would get cut out normally or if they would put it, but I would put it if I got to pick. And then from there, I don't know. This is where it gets tricky to like place them in, because I think the Annual 3 would squeak in right around like issue 44. And then that goes right into Mutant Massacre. And I think, would you put in the whole thing, or would you just put the New Mutants part of that, since it's a tie-in? That's what I'm like. I don't know how much of that you would include.
Okay, so let's go back, because I really like this idea of adding Uncanny 200. Peter was cheering down there like he completely agrees.
I'm ready. I'm totally into this map.
Okay. How did you
the context? I think you need it.
How did you? Okay, so I kind of dig that. I kind of dig the special edition, which that's the one where Karma gets really big, right? Like she gains all this weight. No, she loses the weight from the previous issue because she walks through that.
She walks through the like endless abyss of Asgard or something. Ødfel?
Yeah, she loses weight. So when you come back to read New Mutants, you're like, why is she skinny again? If her brother had taken her over and she got big. All right. I like that. I like that a lot.
Annual 9 is where Danny gets Brightwind. So I feel like that's important too.
Damn. Okay, someone came ready. All this stuff comes from my head, so this is going to be fun. The last issue 34 left off, and Karma was still big in that issue, right, Peter?
I believe so.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
So by the time we get back to 35, is that the Steve Laiola issue, I want to say?
Yeah.
Is she back?
Yes. And to Ødfel's point, 35 literally says on the cover, Magneto's in charge. So you know, we wrapped up that the whole Shadow King, large karma thing. And then if you were to just open the book with 35, it's really going to bend your mind. We have Karma all of a sudden is with the team against then Magneto's in charge and he's in a New Mutants outfit. It's like there's some real big stuff that happens in those 3 issues. Okay. I think you just have to start with them. I don't know if there's any other way for it to make sense. And in the first omnibus, like you said, they collected only the most key Uncanny issues. So I think that is Marvel and David Gabriel personally giving us his permission that we could select 3 to 5 Uncanny X-Men issues that we feel are contextually important and put them into this line. That's what I feel I've been given the remit to do today. Yeah.
I concur. Yes. So far, I like this mapping. Well done. I
went to reskim and I hit 35 and I was like, wait, what? And then I did some digging. I'm like, when did this happen? And then I was like, oh, it's an X-Men. And I was like, I'm just gonna note that. I don't know if they would do that, but I'm gonna put it on my list.
Okay. So far we are all in agreement. We are kicking it off with New Mutants Special 1, X-Men Annual 9, and X-Men 200. Peter?
Yes.
I thought you were frozen. Sorry. No,
this is just my beauty at a resting state.
Okay. Very, very well played. Okay. So what's next? What's after this? Then Karma's skinny again. They just got back from Asgard. Brightwind, right? So we kick it off with 35. Omar, I'm enjoying you watching you get in school. Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it. Love you, buddy.
So this is what I wasn't sure. It immediately jumps into a Secret Wars tie-in. And I don't
Yes,
know,
it
like in an
does.
omnibus, how much context you would include, or if it would just be.
I think a blurb, kind of like what they did with Uncanny X-Men, like a page. Like, oh, here are the X-Men. They just went to this world and they disappeared. When they come back, dragons are in love. Something like that. So I think a page would do it, right? We have the Beyonder. Now he's personified. He kind of looks like Elvis or John Travolta. And and the things he does with the New Mutants. By the way, this might be some spoilers for some people that haven't read New Mutants, just in case.
Well, so I always have this question because I'm the crazy completist who like wants every plot page in the book. So I went back and reread Secret Wars 2. God help me. And most of the later issues of Secret Wars 2, they don't really do a whole lot. They show up for a page and somebody's smacking them around. But what do you think about Secret Wars 5, which is like Boom Boom's first appearance, and the whole issue is Boom Boom and the Beyonder. And by the end of this volume, Boom Boom's going to be, spoilers, in Fallen Angels. Do you think it's worth saying like, hey, you really need to have her introduction the same way the first volume had Marvel Team Up 100 because of Karma?
It did have Karma. So I think if you're going to do an issue of Secret Wars 2, then you have to do the Boom Boom issue. Yeah, that's where that's
not like hard required, but you know, like
it's an introduction to a character that plays a big role in X Factor, but later on becomes a bigger part of New Mutants and eventually X Force. So yeah, absolutely. I would put that in there.
We're feeling it.
I feel that. Yeah,
Ryley, you're uncharacteristically silent. Are you in?
I'm just like soaking in. This has been an excellent start. Like this is so well begun. Hats off. Like I'm like, wow, this is already shaping up to be something that I would just like faint if it got solicited like this.
That's the goal.
Yeah, that's what we do. We love making people faint. Okay, so what's next? Do we do Secret Wars 2 issue 5 with a little blurb of what Secret Wars 2 was about and then move on to issue 35?
Yeah.
Right?
I
mean, Secret Wars. So I took like stupid notes. Secret Wars tie-ins are 36 and 37. So we could do 35 and then Secret Wars 5 and then 36, 37. And then I don't know if you'd want anything after those to like I haven't read all of Secret Wars 2, so I don't know if there's one after that needs to be included or not, or if it would just make sense to continue New Mutants.
Oh, it would honestly, Secret Wars 2 is one of those long forgotten series.
Well, and also I think the end of Secret Wars is like really well explained in New Mutants itself, right? Because they come back and they're all like super depressed and they're like, all this stuff happened to us. So I think you could excerpt one plot page or you could give a summary, but I don't think you get so much more from reading Secret Wars 9 than you get for coming back after Secret Wars.
Yeah, because like one thing I was noticing with like a lot of the stuff I would put in this, there's so many events that I don't want us to just get overburdened with issues that are just context and don't really need to be there. So it's kind of hard to tell like where to put it.
Agree.
Thank you. So yeah, I don't think honestly with something like Secret Wars, since it was such a Marvel big event. No, the beer doesn't just appear. My wife is here, handing me beer. She's not here. The entire
Phil Collins.
Hey. She's not just. I'm not keeping her here the entire time, just sending me beer. Like she just happened to come in from work. So, yeah, Peter did not prepare any Phil Collins. All right. So I thought these were twist offs. Am I not manly enough to open these anymore? All right. Where were we? Thank you. Oh wow.
So if we're just going from 37 straight back into it, up till 45 is solid, and then annual 2 would slide in there, and then right after the annual 2 would be Mutant Massacre. And I don't know how much. Again, I don't know how much context you would put in, but 46 through 47 are Mutant Massacre, New Mutants books.
Now, with annual number 2, you would almost have to put in X-Men annual 10, right? The introduction of Longshot
Mm-hmm.
and more
Yeah.
of Psylocke. Because
Because it
Betsy
jumps
is...
you right into Mojoverse, so it would be confusing.
Ooh.
And plus, it's a lot of it's like the whole like Doug Psylocke connection, which continues to get
It does
referred
continue.
to in New Mutants.
Yeah, so I don't know what order you'd want to put it, but when I looked up the annual, it said it takes place between 44 and 45. So I don't know if you'd want something additional for context spliced in there too.
That
But then immediately
X-Men
after-
annual is like so weirdly out in space. Like I just recently read it, and it doesn't really explain where it's coming from. It's even hard to fit because it like just barely fits in before Massacre. So I don't even know if there's a way to explain it.
Right. Well,
It feels so strange and out of place.
during that time, it was so odd too. Like even reading these books as a kid, I was like, okay, when the hell am I gonna read Uncanny X-Men Annual 10? Because where's Longshot during the Mutant Massacres? He's just chilling back at the X-Mansion with Psylocke until she just magically appears and is like, hey, Sabretooth, I'm gonna whoop your ass. And I was like, where'd that come from? So I think it is important to have both of them in there, though. I know it's an X-Men annual, and I know when we have Uncanny X-Men Omnibus Volume 5 or Prelude to Mutant Massacre, we're going to have both collected in there. It's going to be some double dipping, but I think it's also important for these characters to get the whole story. As far as the Mutant Massacre, I don't know how anybody else feels, but I feel like for at least Mutant Massacre, I'm okay with the blurb.
Mm-hmm.
I think issues, what is it, 45 and 46 are... 45 is the one with Sunder, right? Breaking through the wall and Magic's like, they're all getting killed.
Yeah.
I think a one-page synopsis of like, hey, Mr. Sinister behind the scenes sent a bunch of marauders down here to slaughter all the Morlocks because Chris Claremont said, hey, there's too many Morlocks. We need to kill some of these off. I would be okay with that. I don't think we need to have the actual. It doesn't impact the New Mutants as much as it impacts X-Men, for example, or X Factor for that matter.
Yeah, and they wrap it
and
kind
all.
of nice too. Oh no, you're fine.
What's that?
I was just going to say.
Both of you were just gonna say, all right. Why don't you go first, ladies first, and then Peter can say what he was gonna add.
I think if you just did a blurb at the beginning, it'd be fine because they wrap it up nice. Like each New Mutant kind of has their own thing to say. I don't know if that's what you were gonna say.
I was just going to point out that at a point, the New Mutants kind of depart Mutant Massacre because they find out that, again, spoilers, Karma's brother and sister are potentially at risk, so they kind of splinter off, and it sends them on a totally different mission. So you don't need all of Mutant Massacre. Like, they're long gone, and the X-Men don't know where they are by the time Psylocke has that amazing favorite issue ever fight with Sabretooth. So you maybe could put in, like, 210 or 211 to kind of lay the scene if you really were going hard, but you don't need all of Mutant Massacre to explain what happens to the New Mutants.
I love those issues by Alan Davis, but I think I'm gonna have to veto that. Like, Psylocke isn't that more like she's more important in X-Men than she is New Mutants. Anybody else want to keep those in or veto?
No, I think, like I said, I could maybe see for fighting for 210 or 211 from a context perspective, but I don't think you need all of the New Mutants issues.
You know, I think on mine, all I had from around there was 211 was what I was wanting to add in, but it's not that important. And I think blurbs go a long way. Like when it comes to these events, these crossovers and things. And I know when I was reading New Mutants for the first time through in the classic paperbacks, you only get the New Mutants issue. You don't really get anything else. And the context and stuff was fine with what I got there.
Yeah, you just know, hey, something bad happened down here.
Right.
Oh, power packs down here? That's cool.
Yeah, and looking through to 11, they're really barely in it.
I mean, is it Magic's pretty much the only one, literally, right, that shows up and helps people through her portal? Yeah. Maybe keep that page and then put a little blurb, and this happened.
Sold.
All right, cool. Back to New Mutants then. So, we mentioned annual number 2. We got the special in there. We got annual 2. We've got the annual with so we have 2 X-Men annuals, X-Men annual 9 and 10.
Yeah.
And then we come back to New Mutants. We have Secret Wars in there. How far do we take this?
You could probably squeak in Annual 3. I couldn't find where it comes out chronologically with New Mutants. But I think you'd probably want to squeak it in this one. And then you'd probably want to end it at 62 because 63 kicks off the Hela arc with Danny. And that's like a good place to start the next one.
Okay, so I think the big book, though, because we need to add Fallen Angels. Peter? Ryley?
I do think that Falling Angels, the gang kind of departs to branch off into Fallen Angels at issue 54, which is the last issue that the Claremont Classics collect before Claremont starts to step away. So it kind of makes sense to show Fallen Angels. You don't even need to keep collecting New Mutants. You could just end New Mutants there. But I think Fallen Angels has to go in this one rather than the next one. Because again, it's that weird, do you want to just start with these random people and do 8 issues with a bunch of non-New Mutants and a New Mutants Omnibus? It works much better at the end, I think, of an Omnibus than it does at the beginning of an Omnibus.
And that way we can also add Annual 3, because Annual 3 would come before issue 52, 53. After that storyline, after the 50th issue storyline, we could add Annual 3. I think that's
Annual 3 is a weird one because at the end of 50 and 51, Magic is so upset that they made her teleport that she's like, I'm not speaking to you again. But then she's like palling around with them in Annual 3. So it's kind of like, but you can't put it that far before because they're all splintered up. So it's like, I agree with Ødfel, like Annual 3 is kind of weird. You don't quite know where it goes, but it has to go soon. Or else they all leave to go to Fallen Angels and everything gets wrecked.
I can't tell where it's supposed to fit in. It's very weird. So I don't know, but as far as like New Mutants issues, I think that starting the whole Ileana being mad at Forge and then saving the Hela Danny Moonstar, those 2 arcs I think are better left to start something strong than to do in the previous one. But I think that Fallen Angels probably is the perfect end cap because you don't want to start something with Fallen Angels.
Then I think I'm under the mindset of let's keep Fallen Angels in there and take this to 54.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I have 35 to 54. The next 2 annuals, special edition.
35 to 54.
Yeah. And then I know Peter has it in his notes and I have it on mine too. Stuff that wasn't mentioned, Firestar, the miniseries.
Talk about it. Talk about my girl Firestar and her poor dead horse.
That's the one that I wanted in the X-Men Omnibus. No way they're gonna do it, but I love those. I love that miniseries. So
I've got it right above her head over there. That Barry Windsor Smith cover. Yeah.
That Omar was why when we did that first show, when I was like, we have to do New Mutants 2, because I was like, the New Mutants Omnibus 2 is going to be such a companion piece to whatever the next X-Men book is. And this is all the stuff why, because there's so many things that like you're saying, that needs to go on that one. And I was like, no, that's going to go over here. And that's where a lot of the disagreement came from. I know now you're saying it's going to be double dipping and stuff, but I like to have faith that there won't be too much double dipping.
Okay.
Call me naive, but that's how I feel.
I think Firestar would be fun in that one, in an omnibus too. Yeah.
I'm good with this one. That was my edition. There's one more edition that I'm sure Peter M's gonna mention. But for me, it's got to be Firestar 1 through 4. Now the question is, where would you put it? Because by now, let's see, 190, 193. Even though it's written after 193, it took place before it. So where would be a good place to put it? Not in publishing order, but in a reading order.
Well, that's the thing with Firestar. I feel like you almost have to. It's kind of published, so by the time it gets to 4, it marries up to current continuity. Is that how other people remember it? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes. There's a little speed up at the very end with the White Queen and the Hellions.
Because if memory serves, some of the Hellfire Club at the end of Firestar number 4 go either right to or right from Uncanny X-Men 208. So it definitely wraps up before Mutant Massacre.
So maybe before annual 2.
I like that.
I think it's a good spot.
Yeah.
Because then you kind of get annual 2 right into Mutant Massacre as like kind of a flow.
By the way, I'm going to show what we have so far. So we have New Mutant Special 1, X-Men Annual 9. Oop, I forgot to add 10 in there. X-Men 200, Secret Wars 2, number 5, New Mutants 35 and 54, Annuals 2 and 3, and Fallen Angels. Did it not save it? I didn't save Firestar. Gosh dang it. Ryley, you're the page guy. What are we looking at here?
What all do we? Okay, can you put that back up?
Yep, I'm adding the other.
Because I'm trying to just compare to how many issues I have on my map, because I have a few more.
Okay.
Mhm.
There's definitely one that needs to be added. At least I think, and I think Peter probably agrees, and then others I'm okay with leaving out. So New Mutant Special 1, X-Men Annual 9 and 10, X-Men 200, Secret Wars 2, number 5, New Mutants 35 through 54. I love this mapping, by the way. Annuals 2 and 3, Firestar 1 through 4, and Fallen Angels number 1 through 8. Peter, what's missing? What an arachnid annual is missing?
People in the chat are already talking about it. There's pretty much a full-on New Mutants appearance in Web of Spider-Man Annual number 2. They appear throughout the entire story. It's pretty much a team-up.
Yeah, I'd add that in there. So,
and that, being an annual, and since they're in the entire primary story, that's a long one. I'll go check the page count real quick. I think it might be full 48 pages.
I'll leave it up there for you. Ryley.
Yeah.
I think,
yeah, just about.
Okay. So if it's 48 pages, whew.
I'm trying to see if there's 2 stories or if it's just a single.
I'm trying to think what we can... This might be a biggie.
It's 2 stories, so we only need 32 pages that have New Mutants.
Okay. What else? What's missing from this, Peter?
Okay, well, I would say that if we're going to put Fallen Angels in this one, it probably has to end with Power Pack 33. Yeah. Power Pack 33 is pretty much where the whole Fallen Angels team kind of bops out at the end, and it acts as a sort of epilogue. It has not been collected along with Fallen Angels in the past, but it does show how Warlock and Bobby get back to the New Mutants, which is a nice way to kind of round out the collection. So it's a full issue. They appear throughout. It's 24 more pages. Then I have a couple maybes, and I would toss it to the rest of you on the maybes. So there is an 8-page magic story in Marvel Superheroes Volume 3, number 1. It was that awesome quarterly anthology book that was perfect bound with 8-page stories in every issue. It's a pretty cool magic solo story. There's not a lot of them, and it's kind of hard to place, but I think it fits before 53 or 54. So this might be the only chance to see it collected in oversized format.
Let's do it. It's 8 pages. Make it so. Make it so. Make it so.
Okay. And then the other one I would throw to the group, but I am still scrambling to look through this. It's the only one I didn't get to look through, is Power Pack 20. And I don't know that one offhand, so I'm trying to pull it up real quick and scroll through.
Is that during the Mutant Massacre?
I think that's before Mutant Massacre.
Wow.
Because, I mean, we are introduced to a lot of these characters that were in... Through Power Pack, we are introduced to a lot of these Morlocks, but...
They are teased on the cover as featuring the New Mutants, but in terms of the whole issue, it's not a big appearance.
Okay. Scrap. Kill it.
Let's see. 1 page, 2 page, 3
It'll be
pages,
in the... It's in the Power Pack Omnibus Volume 1.
They're in about half of it. I don't know. You could go either way. Has anybody else read that one? Does anybody have any opinions?
I've read it just long ago. I don't remember. Obviously, it didn't leave an impact on me to be like, oh, it's Firestar material.
My friends on the other half. Anybody?
I had it on my notes, but I haven't read it.
Okay, Power Pack
It holds
27
up surprisingly well.
was Mutant Massacre. That's the one with Sabretooth on the cover. Thank you,
yeah,
Bobby.
They're not in that. Yeah. And I think, I don't know, Ryley, do you have anything else? I think I might be tapped.
You mentioned Web of Spider-Man. That's one that I was going to mention. And then, yeah, Power Pack stuff was the other stuff I was going to mention. I'm just trying to get a rough estimate of the number of pages. Do we know how many pages are in each of the annuals and the special edition?
Annuals are usually 48 to 64 pages.
There is
the
one
special
more
edition.
story.
Oh, there he is. What's up? What'd you find?
Wolfsbane and Mirage have a duo story, and Marvel Comics presents issue number 22. So that's another 8-pager, and it should definitely be in here.
What year was that, though?
That was the... Oh, you think it came later than this release window, don't you?
I have that in my third omnibus, but
Okay, I'll go look that up.
But I mean, if it's in here, let's put it in here. It's only 8 pages, right?
Yeah, but Marvel very rarely pulls things forward, right? Like the whole point is that they tend to put the thing no earlier than it was published, which is our whole Firestar conundrum.
Yeah.
Let's see, when was it printed? Printed in June 1st, 89. And
so there was
54 doesn't quite get that far, does it?
I think we're looking at
87.
87, because 88 was Fall of Mutants. Okay, Near Mint Condition is brought up earlier. The 2019 War Children one-shot has to show up somewhere. What's the War Children one-shot? I don't remember that.
I'm gonna Google that.
This is getting my blood going, and I love it. Thank you.
Claremont did a one-shot with Sienkiewicz that kind of sort of...
Oh, it was...
Too.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that kind of stuff could be left out and be in its own hardcover collection with like X-Men Legend. Oh my God, I just came up with another book. Yes, X-Men Legends and those other one-shots at Claremont. Man, I do love Claremont and Bill though. Okay. So yes
Anything
or no?
that feels like a final volume tack on, like here's all this other stuff, you know, that you could pad out a last volume.
Yeah.
But if we have pages left, that could also act as a really nice special, feature for this one.
They're doing that with New Teen Titans Volume 6. It has that George Perez and Marv Wolfman story that was published, 10 years ago? It came out in original graphic novel format, and they're putting it in Volume 6 of the Omnibus. So, yes or no on that MCU or MCP?
I think if we're following the rules that we followed in Map My X so far, we got to hold it. And the same actually will be true for that Magic story I boasted, because that is from 1990.
Oh,
so if we're playing by our own rules that we can't pull things
brother.
Forward, then they've got to be in a later edition.
Taking it out. It's only 8 pages, but we'll bring it back. That's the Marvel Super Special.
Yeah.
Yes, Ødfel, you had a question?
I just thought about this because I'm curious now. They had that Claremont anniversary special this year that's supposed to take place during the Hela arc of Danny Moonstar's story. So that was released in 2020 or maybe 2020. I don't remember if that was January or December. But would that then be tacked on with that arc, or would it be completely left for like modern books?
I honestly, for me, I tend to leave that stuff for modern books, just following what Marvel has done with like Roger Stern's Omnibus. It didn't include the Hobgoblin Libs that was written 15 years after his stint on Amazing Spider-Man, even though it wraps up the Hobgoblin storyline. But I mean, I'm trying to think, was there ever an omnibus where they did that besides Wolverine with Weapon X, right? Like Wolverine started with Weapon X, and that was written way after his appearance. But then that's a single character, so I don't know.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's like an anniversary tribute to him too, so I don't know.
And people are saying New Mutants Forever miniseries. And that's another one that I think I would save for another hardcover collection. Peter, you're doing a lot of research over there. What are you looking at?
I'm responding to the chat. I'm running the spreadsheet. I'm all in all of your internet.
How does your brain work like that, my man? Dude, oh my gosh. Okay. Final. Let's call it. Is this Omnibus Volume 2 right here what we have? Is everybody happy with this?
It's coming pretty close to the 1,200 page mark, Ryley. Do you feel like we're kind of right in that neighborhood right now?
I am adding everything up right now. I basically took the trade paperback page counts of Fallen Angels, New Mutants Classic 5, 6, and 7, and then I'm going to add in the Firestar paperback as well.
Remember, we also need a little room for extras because I love me some sketches. Especially when you got Arthur Adams in there. Oh my goodness. Rick Leonardi for some of that artwork. Just saying. I only think that we need 2 more New Mutants Omnis. A Volume 2 run to the end of Volume 1, fall of. I don't know. I think we got something here. All right, what we got, Ryley? What we got in numbers?
So I've got, if not right under, because I don't think I have all of the. I don't think I have Uncanny X-Men 200 on here, and I don't think I have annual number 10 counted, and I'm at 1140. So we're at that 1200 plus.
We're looking at 1200 plus.
But I don't think it's probably not going to hit 13, so I think we're safe.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, is this it? Is this our volume 2?
Well, let me throw the challenge out to the group. This ends with the Claremont stuff, right? And if we were to kind of just really roughly block out what the rest of the run looks like, there's about 700-ish pages to get us to Cable. And then there's about, or at least to get us to the end of Inferno. And then there's like another 1,000 pages after that if we were to include Extinction Agenda, which I'm not saying I suggest. So the question really becomes, do we think people would buy 2 more New Mutants omnibuses, in which case it should stop here? Or if they would buy only 1, do we try to sneak a little bit more in, but we're already at 1,200 plus pages? And I think Ødfel's got a good point. Like, story context matters. If we push to put in 1 little extra arc, is it not as fun to start reading the next book?
I don't think I would appreciate reading Fallen Angels 1 as the start of the next book. I kind of like it as the bookend of this. Like, oh, why did Bobby leave? Oh, man, he accidentally killed Cannonball. What happens next? Who's this kid with the 2 lobsters?
Well, Ødfel, you were saying that you like the idea of the Gila arcs starting a book, right?
Yeah, I think that would be kind of cool. Because like that starts around, I want to say 80, but that would not be putting much into the next volume and a lot into a hypothetical volume 4. But like the Hela arc would be an interesting jump-in point, I feel like.
What issue is that?
I want to say like
That's the Rick Leonardi cover.
Around 80, I'm not sure.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. The Asgardian arc, the return back to Asgard where Danny's like, "Oh, see you guys. I'm gonna stay here."
Yeah,
that's around. That is a long arc too, because that wraps up with issue 85, right? 85.
Yeah, I think 86 it starts with 80.
Acts of Vengeance is 86. Yeah, but it was kind of like they were talking about it before then.
Yeah.
Because then right after that is boom, Cable, and you're into Liefeld. So
1,200 pages. I'm calling it. Now the question is, what would you all choose as your covers? I got my cover picked out.
I got mine.
I'm so sorry. I put you on the spot. So we'll go first. Ryley, what's your cover? Let me see if I can find it really quick.
My cover is number 39.
God damn it! That's my cover, you bastard.
Yeah.
I should have gone first. I'm gonna kick you off. Let me find it really quick. So first of all, 2 beautiful things happen here. This is Mike Mignola inked by Bill Sienkiewicz. And let me find it so I can put. Oh my god, I love this cover. As a kid, I found this to be like the sexiest thing ever. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, got it. Let me upload it really quick. So this would be the cover. I'm 100% agreeing with you right there.
This is gonna be the. I'm gonna have to get the variant so my wife doesn't get upset cover.
no, that is one of the ones that stuck out to me when I was reviewing stuff. I love that one.
Oh my goodness. Look at that cape.
It's just iconic. Like, it's not my favorite cover, but just the face in shadow, the whole cape with the like gray, like zip tone kind of background, them all, it's just, and unfortunately they won't be able to do the cross out with Hellions over the logo on an omnibus probably, but still a great cover.
I feel like it sets the tone for a lot of the plot line too, because we have Magneto kind of in the corner there, and then we have, the Hellions, which I feel like the Hellions are very, very integral to Omnibus too. Like they're in most of the stories.
Yeah.
So that's also my choice. Peter, Ødfel, what do y'all think? I mean, y'all can choose your own cover. I want Greg Land to do a version of this cover just so
of
Ryley
course,
has.
That would be the one I would buy.
Any other cover that stands out to you all, like the cover to annual number 2? That's kind of a weird cover, but there's just so many things happen there. I'm trying to think of one with the whole team.
The previous cover is pretty good also.
I think it's
the
the
cover to
previous one.
38. Oh, yeah.
That's me too.
Oh,
I think
dude,
it's 38.
that
Why
one
did you pick that one?
What, 38?
Yeah.
I just think it's a really neat cover. Like, I think it has kind of that, like, Days of Future Past kind of ominous vibe where you see, like, the slain behind everyone. It's a very similar vibe where it's just everyone's gravestones and you're like, crap, what's going to happen in this? So I just think 38 is a really cool one.
Yeah,
and,
that was
very
my
helpfully
2.
has everyone's name on it. Always great to sell a book.
Yeah.
Like, here's what you're getting. It's not as thrilling as the Emma Frost one, but I do kind of love this cover.
Well, and you also want to know what's going on. I remember picking this up going, what happened? And then, holy shit, that Beyonder issue. I dig that one. I dig that one also because Arthur Adams. There is another Arthur Adams that's inked by Mike Mignola. I'm trying to think of what issue that was. It's the one with their future outfits from the annual. Like Cannonball, that ridiculous helmet. Oh, what issue is that? I thought that was in the 40s, but maybe that one. Okay, so that's what's your choice, Peter?
I don't know how I would choose between those two. I think maybe I'm a little bit more on the side of 38 than I am on the side of 39. But honestly, I would buy either of those.
Okay. Sold. All right. Ship it to the printers. That's it. That is our annual or our Omnibus Volume 2. Good job, team. We didn't argue that much. Except, well, when Peter tried to add those uncanny issues. No, that doesn't fly by me.
Sure, just pin it all on me. That's fine.
It's just the only time. It's usually Ryley, but this time it was you trying to sneak in those uncanny issues for no reason at all. And then Power Pack? Come on, man.
I think it's going to get messy from this point, though.
My list kind of just gets haywire at this point.
This is where it gets fun because how much do you include too? So who wants to lead with Omnibus Volume 3? Oh, and by the way, I found the issue. I was looking through the Marvel database. I'm sure somebody was already in the chat telling me what it was. Yep, issue 54. Thank you, everybody. That's the one I was thinking of. It's the one with their graduating costumes. Like, oh, we're not X babies anymore.
But it kind of like loses the branding of, they only wear those costumes so seldom.
Mm-hmm. It was
cool.
Mignola inked by Austin. I thought it was Arthur Adams inked by Mignola.
It is a cool cover, though.
I really dug that one. And it's the final issue to be collected in our map. All right. Omnibus 3.
Well, here's my challenge to all of you. I'm not giving my map first. I just want to throw this out there.
Okay. What's your challenge?
Does it make sense to do Omnibus 3 first? Or, as some folks in the chat have pointed out, should we instead be debating what a final omnibus that contains Cable and the New Mutants would contain? And then whatever number 3 is kind of the middle. Because if we're being frank, all of this middle group has been collected in oversized hardcover already.
Yes.
In Fall of Mutants, in Inferno Prelude, and in Inferno. So this is, I don't know. I'm happy to go either way, but I just want to throw out there that we're really talking about two groups of material, the doughy middle material and the Cable and the New Mutants material.
I'm like 100% on your side on this, and I figured I was going to be, because looking at everything, I was like, that's an entire chunk of stuff that we have oversized. Not only do we have it oversized, but they're reprinting. We have the Inferno Omnibus and the Inferno Prologue now relabeled as an omnibus is going to be coming out. The only thing missing is a reprint of Fall of the Mutants. And once we have this, we have all of that material available. And now, stuff like Fall of the Mutants and Inferno Prologue, that can all be read separate from the rest. It doesn't have to be in the context of everything else. But I just think that with Marvel reprinting that material and making it more available at this time, that it almost seems like they'd be printing something that's in danger of just not selling well if they were to put out this volume 3.
Omar's
going to kick us out.
You're
know.
both out. You're both out.
We're causing a civil war. We're gonna be
Yeah,
we're gonna be released from our contracts.
This is not good for you guys. No, I disagree. I think we're living in a time where these omnis are going to sell, regardless of whether you go to cable or you go to Volume 3. Mainly because if they keep Fall of the Mutants out of print for, like, let's say 2 or 3 years, people are going to itch to buy it, whatever material they can find. And part of that will be in Omnibus Volume 3. No, Volume 2. Sorry. No, 3. That's the beer talking. 3. Yes, that's how we sell it. Because some of this stuff hasn't been collected in oversized format. It's only been available in Epic Collection. Yeah, it's only been available in Epic Collection. So it'd be good to have it in oversized format. And I think cable's going to sell. I don't care. You don't need anything. It's going to sell itself. I think a Volume 3 will be a tougher sell unless you include Fall of the Mutants, 2 of the biggest crossover events, Fall of the Mutants and Inferno in there. And that's how you sell Volume 3.
Let's talk Volume 3 then. Let's rock.
All right. I assume the easy thing to do is kick it off with the issue 55. Peter, what do you got?
Oh, I've got to go first, huh? Well, look, I think we.
You don't have to, but
well,
I think
I was. Just,
you were fighting me to go to cable, so I don't want you to map cable. I want you to map 3. Let's do it.
So look, there's a very specific group of material that could easily fit into 3. It starts with New Mutants 55, and it runs all the way through. Where is my dividing line? It runs all the way through 73, because that's the last issue that's in the Inferno hardcover. It includes a couple of annuals along the way. And it also includes Exterminators 1 through 4, because Exterminators 1 through 4 is in a New Mutants Epic collection at this point. So we understand that Marvel is kind of grouping in with New Mutants when we separate all the Inferno material out. Are there some other things in there we might throw in? Maybe. But I think that's the core of the book.
What did you take us to?
I think if you're trying to mirror what's collected in the oversized hardcovers, I believe we will have to stop at New Mutants 73. I think that is the final issue of New Mutants that's in the Inferno hardcover.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
And so in that grouping, we would also have Exterminators 1 through 4, which has been collected in New Mutants Epic Collection Volume 6, Curse of the Valkyries. And we will also have New Mutants Annual 4. But then there's some other stuff, and I'll leave that to my august colleagues to address or not.
I'm going to go crazy here. I say we take it all the way to 85.
High roller.
85. Then we make the final volume. Well, there's a reason why I'm saying it, obviously, because I think in the final volume, we have to include the entire Extinction Agenda. We have to include the entire Kings of Pain. And then and then we have annual the Days of Future Present annual crossover event. So what's your reasoning?
Then why wouldn't you just take it right up to Extinction Agenda and stop there? Why wouldn't you take it to all the way to 94?
This Omnibus Volume 3?
Yeah. No,
Peter, that's 40 issues of New Mutants. We need
1,363 pages.
That's too much.
Okay.
No. We got to think of it like it's a company, right? They want to make money. They know they can milk it. It's an X title. You put cable on the cover, that's going to sell. What would sell Volume 3? It's going to be either Magic, or Magic is a hot commodity right now, even though this is kind of her demise storyline, right, with Inferno.
You could put a Darkchild variant cover, though, and it would sell.
Yeah.
And that's the one by Brett Blevins is the one I was thinking of.
Mm-hmm. I forget what issue number it is, but like there's that Darkchild image that comes to mind.
All right. Thoughts, Ryley? You're being quiet. What are you thinking, Ryley?
I don't like it.
You don't like it? All right. What do you like? You like him short and skinny? Like?
No, I already gave my thoughts. Is that, in my opinion, it should go New Mutants 1 and 2, and then we should get Cable and the New Mutants, or something of that sort. That would basically be all of that additional stuff that you're talking about, with the material before Cable comes in and the material with Cable and all of that. Just slap Cable's name on it
Yeah,
and that's going to sell it.
You
But,
put Deadpool on that stupid cover; it's gonna sell.
Yeah, that's why we have Cable and X-Force and Deadpool and X-Force.
Exactly.
But I mean, yeah, I don't have any. I literally in my notes, it's just Omnibus 2 and then nothing of all the stuff that's in the crossover volumes. So
It is. I think this is the toughest one to map because it's a lot of.
Sorry.
No. I was just gonna say because a lot of the material is only being collected in Fall of the Mutants and in Inferno. And then literally there were no trade paperbacks of this stuff. And then we got an epic collection and we're getting another one to kind of just wrap it up. So I don't know. I think we need a volume 3. Otherwise it's incomplete, right? To take us to 4. But you're saying release a volume 4 first and then come back and do this one?
I'm not saying release a volume 4. I'm just saying like, as I was mentioning, we already have, of the 3 oversized hardcovers that collect all of this material, 2 of them are being re-released for us, and then that last one is just a given that it's going to happen. And that's a way that, that's a way Marvel can make money off of saying, like, if you enjoyed the New Mutants there, here's the next 3 books that you need to get, instead of just being like, or you can take the shortcut and buy this one.
Okay. You guys are kind of talking me into this. I don't know. I don't like it.
Like annuals 4 and 5 are both tie-in for other events, and I don't know if there's already a collected edition for those events, but it's the Evolutionary War and Atlantis Attacks are annual 4 and 5, so they might already be collected too.
They are, but not fully. Like the entire annual is not collected, just the parts with Atlantis Attacks. And what about the Liefeld Summer Special? Would you include that?
And
in
that's
the
freaking long. I checked.
Yeah,
it's 80 pages.
Yeah, actually that's what it was called, right? And then we have the
80 page
special, and then we have the Brett Blevins special too that happened during Liefeld's time. So that's what I'm thinking. There's a possibility for 2 more here, and I'm a completist, so I have to have 2 more Omnis after Volume 2. Glutton. That's why I was like,
you're looking for glutton.
Is that what it's called? Okay, I'm an omnibus glutton. Give me another thicket one, man. I'll take it. I think New Mutants 55 through 85. I'm looking at 30 issues, Exterminators 1 through 4. You throw in the 2 annuals, and maybe even that very first annual or the special with Liefeld.
What hell are you talking about?
It's the one with oh my gosh, who are the kids? Richter and Boom Boom.
Oh, the X Factor kids.
Yeah, wait. I'm thinking of that. That's the annual number 2. Sorry, or the annual with Liefeld drawing it. That's what it is.
It's the Atlantis Attacks annual.
Yeah, that's the Atlantis. That's what I'm thinking of.
Sorry, Ødfel, we stepped all over your next point there. Where were you going?
I never know where I'm going. Sometimes I just speak and my sentences don't make any
sense.
No,
not you, Omar.
Oh, me. Okay, I thought you said Omar. Sorry. What was your point, Ødfel?
There's just a lot of weird things that, like, if there wasn't a 3, I don't know if they're already collected or not. But also, like, if everything is already collected, it might be easier in something else. But yeah, like both annuals being tie-ins, and then the summer special could be in with Cable because it's Liefeld era. But like, do you want to tack on 80 more pages when you're also doing Extinction Agenda? So that was just my point. Is I don't know, like, if this stuff is already collected annual wise, but it is kind of like Volume 3 is going to be a lot of like sections of things that are amidst events after event after event after event, because it's kind of just like bam, bam, bam.
And in this sequence of issues, they really don't go anywhere else. Like to prep for this, I mapped every appearance of every New Mutant ever. And they, in this period, there's like 2 Power Pack issues where they show up. And even during Inferno, they really only guest in 1 issue of Cloak and Dagger and 1 issue of Excalibur. They're not really other places. So it's not like there's a lot of extra material to put in. Other than, as Ødfel points out, like the annuals and things, which aren't collected contiguously in all of these various crossover collections because they actually went in with their annual collections.
We do have annual number 4 is in You want to get down? Go.
It's the
Annual number 4 is in the prologue, Inferno prologue.
Is it collected fully though? And here's
I
the
don't think
thing,
so.
like every one of those, whether it's Fall of the Mutants or whether it's Inferno, they're literally doing their own thing, right? Like they're fighting or not the Cameron Hodge, but they're helping Bird Brain, and Doug gets killed.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Inferno is the demise of magic, right? Like, even though this huge Inferno thing is happening, it's really about magic. And Colossus shows up, but you don't really need to know what's going on in X-Men. You just got to know that hell broke loose on New York City. That's literally it.
Yeah, and I kind of support an annual 3 too, because like you don't really want to start if you're marketing it as like Cable and the New Mutants and kind of doing this like Liefeld era, like leading into X-Force number 4 volume. You're not going to want to start it with 2 annuals that have nothing to do with anything, and you don't really want to cut out. I feel like the annuals if you're going to do all of the New Mutant stuff, so you wouldn't want to like start it randomly with annuals and then go into Cable either. So I feel like those should just all be in a hypothetical third instead of being.
Yeah, because give me this, Peter. Give me this, because that way we don't have to release a reprint of Extinction Agenda that's been out of print. People can just buy.
I 100% support that. I think that's the best argument for the Cable and New Mutants volume to be the final volume, because you just are like, this is where Extinction Agenda lives now. We're not going to reprint that OHC. It's been moved into the paperback line with the Milestones edition. And if you want it, it actually changes New Mutants the most, right? Characters die, the team composition really changes, and it dumps you out, right? At X-Force, literally the next issue is 98, which people treat as kind of X-Force -3 in a way. So I would say absolutely put all of Extinction Agenda in volume 4. And the more we talk and the more that I listen to you, it sounds like really what we're talking about here is volume 2, which we mapped, volume 3, which is called Magic and the New Mutants, or New Mutants by Louise Simonson, and volume 4, which is called either Cable and the New Mutants, which they've used as trade dress title before, or New Mutants by Rob Liefeld. I really think that's how you sell these books.
If the third one's going to be Magic and the New Mutants, would you put your 8-page Magic thing in that, even though it came later? Because that would fit perfectly in there then. Yeah,
any extra Magic thing I think we could lay our hands on that is like, I would even argue you could put New Mutants Truth or Death 1 through 3 in there, even though it's from 1997. Yeah. The team had flashed back to like earlier than this.
Yes.
But it's a Magic story, so if you're going to call it Magic and the New Mutants, pat it.
And it's literally New Mutants Volume 2 that has never been collected anywhere.
Right.
Ever. And man.
All right, now we're cooking. I feel like we had a little lull, but I feel like we're back on the path now.
All right, there we go. We're back in the game.
She is hard to find collected editions for, so I would be in for that because like her stuff is so hard to find.
Yeah.
All right, so we're back to New Mutants Volume 3 then. All right, Peter, we going to 86 or 85? Come on, Peter, talk to me.
Well, I'm still hung up on this idea that the Valkyrie arc is great to kick off the beginning of us Omni, and even though the threads of it are there, it like really goes in Erdest and 80. So like I feel like the break point is somewhere between 73 and 80. And the further we push, the kind of bigger and more attractive the book looks, but the magic story effectively ends at 73. So yeah. I think it ends somewhere between 73 and 79. That's the best I can do. Somebody else be more authoritative than me here.
If we do that, how many pages are we at, Ryley?
I don't have that info right now.
I can tell you in a moment.
Thank you.
If we go to 79, we're only going to be at 840 pages. I haven't thrown in Truth or Death yet, so that would be what, 910 or 12 if we throw in Truth or Death. It's doable.
Exterminators 1 through 4.
That includes Exterminators for sure.
What about the annuals?
Got them. Full annuals, full page count, and annuals, 2 issues of Power Pack.
Annuals 4 and 5.
Yep.
Wow.
So if you save 80 onwards, do you also save the summer special? Because that's going to add a handful of pages from the books and then an 80 summer special.
That's a big chunk of pages we're going to be adding.
Because I agree. I think the Valkyrie arc would be cool to start, but like how we ended the second one, I don't know.
Well, the summer special came out the same month as 90.
Oh, nice.
So to pull it all the way up to be in a book that has the 70s would be like really dragging it against its will.
Even though it has the spirit of that era, right?
And then in reading order, it actually places, where are we? The summer special is actually after the Days of Future Past annuals and right before 92 and 93, and also right before Reign of Terra, which I think would probably have to go in here as well. Yeah. Okay. So there's like, it does make sense.
Yeah.
So what are we, Omar, do you have the map typed up?
Sorry. Yeah, I was adding things. Hold on a second. So far, New Mutants 55 through 73. But we haven't decided on where that endpoint is yet. Exterminators 1 through 4, Truth or Dare, which is a 3-issue miniseries, Annuals 4 and 5, and PP. What the hell is that?
Power Pack.
Power Pack. What issues were those, Pete?
Power Pack. They appear in. I'm sorry, I'm lost. I have too many windows. I'm swimming in windows right now.
Okay, man. Take your time.
Power.
And you know what? We're gonna add the Magic story, that 8-page story from Marvel. When was that? The first issue. We had it in the mapping for number 2 first.
Yeah, it's Marvel Superheroes 1990 number 1.
Okay, and the Marvel Comics Presents. What issue was that?
That was.
Ooh.
Those are both
Marvel
Magic
Comics Presents number 22, which was Mirage and Rain.
Okay.
And then the Power Pack issues I had were, and then sorry, I just stepped on an ooh from Ødfel, so I'll be quiet after this. Power Pack 40, which they star pretty much through the whole issue. Mm-hmm. And Marvel Fanfare 55, which is effectively a Power Pack and New Mutants team-up issue.
Whew. All right. I like that this is going all over the place. This is my kind of book.
Now it's starting to seem fun. Like now it's got some stuff that we don't have, right? Ova, where were you about to go?
Sorry, so I was looking at covers. It looks like the Valkyrie arc actually starts at 77. Is that going to put us at 2 little books?
No, it's still cool because we could take this through 76. 76 happens
76.
Is a Ryley, help me. 76 is
it's after the fight with
it's
Sebastian
prelude
Shaw.
to Atlantis Attacks, and we're putting in the Atlantis Attacks annual in. So that's how it is. Yes.
Cool.
So,
I was like, somewhere there's a really cool helicover that could be like the cover for the next one if that's where it starts. And I was looking and then I was like, oh wait, oh no. Like this starts earlier than 80. So that's why I was like, ooh.
Because this is after the fight with Sebastian Shaw and Magneto. Mm-hmm. And okay, I'm good with that. I'm good with 76 ending there. So this is the
Sea Monster cover.
So we have New Mutants 55 through 76, Exterminators 1 through 4, Truth or Dare miniseries. I love that word. That's how we get people to buy this, Peter. Annuals 4 and 5, Power Pack 40, Marvel Fanfare 55, the Marvel Special 1990 number 1. Those are 8 pages, though.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that we can add to this? And what's the page count now that we're looking at?
It's still pretty small.
Yeah, compared to the last one, we got over 1,200 pages in the last one.
And the first one.
So. If you really wanted, the X Factor Annual 4 wraps up Atlantis Attacks, I think. But that would be if you just wanted to add context. I don't know how much the New Mutants are in it.
I'm trying to think of what other character. Like, you could... No, I don't want to do that.
No, I mean, so we're at about 740 odd pages right now. It's not tiny. It's more like a Shang-Chi omnibus and less like a New Mutants Volume 1 omnibus right now.
And honestly, I'm okay with that. But then that means, wait. Unless we go with my original idea of taking this all the way to 85, wrapping up the Valkyrie arc, and then literally leaving the next run to be Cable and X-Force. 86, I mean, that's Cable. I mean, 1 page, but...
Would you kick it off with, like, a handful of, like, Cable and then Summer Special? Or would Summer Special feel weird if it's just all Cable stuff? Well, no, because it's in between Cable and Extinction Agenda, right? Because it's around issue 90.
Yeah, but that story was also a kind of a flashback story, so that literally could be the bookend page, the bookend to this omnibus. What do you guys think? I mean, I know it's not until later, but it literally could be the bookend to this, and then we get nothing but Cable and Rob Liefeld.
Here's my challenge to you. When does Layfield start as a full-time artist and not as a guest artist?
86, isn't it?
Is it 86? Because it's still
does-
Blevins, like right up until then, other than the annual, right?
He does the cover to 85, which is, the end of the Valkyrie saga. 86 is where they kind of like, let's go home.
And he draws 86.
Rusty fights the Vulture because that's an Axe of Vengeance crossover.
Right.
So I'm okay with that. I mean, we could take it to 87, but I really feel like 86 would be a good opener because that's literally we're starting with Liefeld.
I guess what it comes down to is if you were selling Omnibus 4, would it do better if you branded it like Cable and the New Mutants and used like maybe the Deadpool cover or something to try and get like X-Force fans appealed to it? Or would it do better if you marketed it with like a Hela and Danny cover? That's really, I feel like what it's going to come down to is what you want that last one to be tonally.
And now you're thinking like a marketing person. Smart.
Because like, I think it's cool to start off a omnibus with the Valkyrie arc because I'm biased and I love that arc and I think it's iconic. But at the same time, if you feel like, because I feel like the Liefeld era is like unique because it's almost like the prequel to X-Force more than it is a New Mutants story. So it kind of depends on how you want to market it because it introduces a lot of those characters before they jump over to X-Force.
Yeah, and I know X-Force has 98 through 100 already collected in it. X-Force annual or Omnibus Fund.
Yeah.
And I'm honestly okay with that double dip because I mean I'm okay with having this go the way to 100 if we need to fatten this up.
Yeah, because there's going to be people who are like, I wanted all of New Mutants. I don't buy the X-Force line.
This guy.
So great, and that pads it out. It adds it because I actually didn't tally those in, but if I throw in those issues, one of which is an oversized issue, and you do all of Kings of Pain,
you
actually make that into a pretty well-sized book, and it double dips a couple times. But such is life as an X fan.
Hey, look at X Factor Omnibus that's legit being released by Marvel. That is nothing but a double dip book with the exception of like a couple of issues. All right. So
yeah, we're at like 2 900-page books right now. We've managed to equal it out.
Yeah, son. Look at that. New Mutants 55 through 76. I'm good with that. Did you all want to take it to 85?
I thought we were getting really excited about that. I thought you wanted to go right to the end of Blevins.
I did, but I'm not, this is a democracy. You gotta take a vote. Ryley, what do you and Ødfel think? We take it to 85?
Yeah, I think that sorry. Go ahead.
You're fine. Go ahead.
Look at that. Look at that. Boy, I just got really excited for this book that doesn't exist.
It's a good book. Like now that I see the contents, I'm like, I do actually kind of want that.
Of course you do. You'll buy it.
Yeah, I think if you take it to that point, then that's going to eliminate my concern of it being something that's just double dipped with other books. And that's something that makes me like upset because I know that I'd have to buy it.
Yeah. Even if it
but like
that
I'm not saying I'm upset like, screw you guys, I'm going home, but like I'm upset because I know that would be the how a lot of people are going to think about it is like, damn it, like if they had cut it off at this point, then I wouldn't have to buy this book, but now I have to buy this book. But you have to have that as an ex-completist, you have to have that stuff. It makes sense. And I mean, it was mentioned earlier that in these crossovers, the New Mutants are doing their own thing. So it's not like something where if you're only putting the New Mutants issues in there, you're losing the context of what was happening in the rest of the material. You can read that material on its own with no issues whatsoever. Yeah. It's kind of like a good, more recent example of a more recent series is the Jeff Johns Green Lantern Volume 3 doesn't contain all of the crossover stuff for Rise of the Third Army and Wrath of the First Lantern or whatever they were called, because none of that is required reading if you're just reading Green Lantern. It's the same thing, the same idea here. You don't have to have X Factor. You don't have to have X-Men to understand what's happening with these characters during this time.
Complete support.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'll throw in one more 8 pages into there, though. In my research today, I discovered that Marvel Comics Presents 121, the second story, is the epilogue to Dani leaving the team at the end of her Valkyrie arc, and it shows her in Asgard, and then she doesn't show up again for like years. So even if it's published a little bit later, we can't put it into the next omnibus because Dani's not in it. So I think if you're going to end this with 85, I think then the final cap for Dani is the MCP 121 story.
Yeah.
Have you read it? I haven't actually read it. I just like looked through the contents pages to find it.
I read it because it ties in. So the current King in Black, Return of the Valkyries, like the little asterisk mentioned it. So I had to go back and read it. And it is a really good end cap, and it explains the Valkyries split off and where everything ends. So
I have to go read it. Are you loving Valkyries King in Black? I think it's so good. It's one of my favorite comics.
I haven't had a chance to read this week's, but like the other like 2 that are out, like I'm loving it so far. I like that they're like adding more Valkyries, and I'm just like living for it. So
it's so cool. It's really the best King in Black tie-in so far, I think.
Yeah, I really wanted it to be the Union, but so far like Return of the Valkyries is my favorite.
That's a continuation of Ewing's book, right? Of Valkyrie, which I was really enjoying, and I was upset that it got canceled.
Awesome book.
As far as covers, I really like that one. I'm not attached to it, but I thought that would be a good, kind of a good variant. What about you all? Also like 75, which is the fight with Magneto and Sebastian Shaw.
The question is, do you do more of a Magic cover or more of a Hela cover?
Which Magic cover should we use then? There's a couple in there by Blevins that I really like, but that's the one that I was kind of attached to.
I kind of really dig 78's cover. I don't know.
78. Is that the one with Hela and the Freedom Force? Or let me see.
I believe it's Freedom Force. It's like her face in the background.
Yeah, that's Freedom Force and Hela. Let me pull that up. But that also shows us the new cast of the New Mutants. Or like, because you've got kids from X Factor that are joining the team. So this is this cover right here that that's kind of a bad copy of it. Let me find a better one. What do you got, Peter?
I'm just trying to see if there's a good Magic one, because I'm still really attached to the idea of calling it Magic in the New Mutants, because she's in so much of it and she's kind of like a hot character the past few years.
Yeah,
She has been.
But I just don't. I mean, she's on the cover of 66, but she's just fighting some dude in some underwear. Like, I don't know if that really is going to fly.
Somebody saying that 61 is a good team shot. Let me go look at that really quick. Riley, thoughts? What do you got?
Y'all don't want to have 57 with Bird Brain on it?
I hate you. Like, why would you even mention that? I hate that.
Yeah, 61 ain't bad.
You know what? 61 is really good because it's like, yay, Doug is dead. Let's celebrate. That cover never made. I'm gonna show it really quick. Literally, this is after they find his dead body, and they're like, "All right, let's go."
Party.
And where's Doug? Like inside of Warlock, maybe? I don't know. It's time to celebrate and party. We got our own costumes.
Dude, the next cover though is beautiful.
Oh yeah. I
love that cover, but does it really scream omnibus?
Right.
No.
Right. You got to sell it.
I'm trying to find. This one isn't from this run, but I feel like they could sell it with this. Or something similar as a variant, and I'm trying to get a good enough quality, and I'll like link it in the chat thingy.
Marvel has used like Ezad Ribic's what was it? The Silver Surfer Requiem variant for the Silver Surfer Classic, like John Buscema. And
they're not above pulling something.
They're not above
like
pulling it. What do you got?
Yeah, sorry. I feel like this is like the definitive like Demon Magic photo.
Let me see if I can find. I'll find it in a. Oh shit! Yeah, that's the David Finch one, right?
Yeah,
Sorry, I got.
It's from X Internus, but I feel like it would work.
Oh yeah, I knew exactly. What you were talking.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we got you.
That one would probably be like, if you wanted it to be Magic focused, that would be the one that like comes to mind for me.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, that will sell. Danny Mackey on inks and David Finch art. Magic, not even with the soul sword, with a big giant axe.
Yeah, like it would probably be a variant because they'd probably pick like a cover from the series, but like I feel like that one would be a really good variant.
I do
only
like
other-
New Mutants 85. I'm sorry, but I feel like it's the end of the arc, right? It's like, why is Danny evil? Why, like, what's happening here? But I like this. I like New Mutants 50 as well. And honestly, this is your variant cover right here. You don't need anybody else to draw another one. This is it.
The only other one I'd throw out there, but I think it just causes too much confusion, is one of my favorite covers of all time, actually, is the cover of the Atlantis Attacks Annual 5. But it's Liefeld, and Liefeld only draws that cover, and he doesn't draw interiors. But it does have a pretty good selection of the team. And it has Richter and Boom Boom up front. It's got Cannonball. It's got Rain. It's got Warlock. It's got Sunspot. It's got that awesome, like, bold pink, which really stands out. It wouldn't be a terrible representation of what's going on in this period, but again, not if you're going to call it Magic and the New Mutants.
And if you wanted a good Magic cover from the era, but it wouldn't be collected in this one, the cover of New Mutants 50 is a really good one.
It would be in this one,
Oh,
right?
would it?
No, we went. No, we went.
No, we
we
cut
went
it.
54.
54.
Is that the Steve Laiola or?
I'm not sure who the artist is, but it's like one of those Magic covers that like kind of like
Pink
what
in the
Peter was
background, I
saying,
think.
it has the colors, it's got the color pop, it's got magic, it's got demons, but it wouldn't be an issue from this, so it's a little misleading.
It's Leonardi. That's the Leonardi cover. Yeah.
But no, I do love that Atlantis Attacks cover a lot.
Oh, I love it so much.
Wow.
I'm just so into pink on a cover. I just if there's a bright pink on a cover, I'm like, yes, it just has my attention right away.
I never
got
thought
car.
you'd like that. That's cool, Peter. I didn't know you liked Liefeld.
It's just a good cover.
This is the cover.
That's a good. Again, pink, so I'm there.
But I'm okay with going back. I'm okay with going back to this. All right. That's it. That's volume 3. Let's go with volume 4. Cable and the New Mutants. This is easy. This one, I mean, pretty much maps itself, right?
You're deciding to go all the way to 100 and not cutting it off.
Let's go to 100, include Extinction Agenda. Let's include all of Kings of Pain. Throw in the summer special. I'm trying to think if there was any Cable appearances, because if it's going to be a Cable and the New Mutants, then I'm trying to find a Cable appearance outside of New Mutants.
He does not make them, really. He has like a one-page cameo in what am I trying to say, in a Spider-Man issue, but I mapped Cable into this too, and a lot of the things either come before he debuted, which would be in like a popular Cable omnibus or an actual Cable omnibus, or it comes in the X-Force era. There's not really like a lot of in-between Cable stuff.
And did you already say Days of Future Present?
I think so.
Yeah.
So that's the four more annuals right there.
So we're gonna have a total of 12 annuals.
Jeez.
Is that what we're doing in all of Extinction Agenda?
Yeah, but those annuals is only going to be the first half of the story for the ones that are not actually New Mutants, right? None of them are 48-page A stories. They all have backup stories at that stage.
Wait, no. I'm sorry. Only 8 annuals, right? Because we're doing Days of Future Present, Kings of Pain, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and Kings of Pain is only 3 parts. I don't know about Days of Future Present.
That was a 4-parter.
Yeah, although the New Mutants are not in the Fantastic Four issue.
Yeah, but you kind of need it.
You throw it in. Yeah,
throw it in.
Yeah, well, and right now, isn't that oversize-wise only in the Days of Future Present, or the Days of Future Past oversized with all that like random collection of stuff? Yeah, it's not in any like core book.
And that's the only reason I have this one.
Same here.
Nerds.
And honestly, when was the published date on that, Ryley? Was that like 2014? I got it while I was still in America. Because we're talking about a book that's, by the time this comes out, going to be almost a decade old. Like, that's not a double dip. That's just inviting new people in.
Yeah, I think that's 2013.
2013
to 2014. Yeah, I got this like a couple years after getting married or something. So that's a while ago.
Yeah. I think as we get so obsessed with double dips and stuff, we have to remember that all 3 of us, Ødfel, I don't know how much you're into collected editions, but we've all been buying these collected editions since the early 2010s. And like, just because we have them already doesn't mean that new people won't have different desires for them. Are you more of a singles person or are you more of a collected editions person?
So I'll buy like covers of singles that I like, but if I'm gonna like go back and read things, I much prefer just to get like the paperback essentials.
Yeah.
because I don't like books that are too thick, but also like I just like collected editions, so I'm kind of in the middle. Like I really like that sweet spot of the essentials. So I'm like I understand the draw for omnibuses and all the extra goodies, but I'm kind of like in that middle space between like a trade and a. And then I have my cover.
Totally.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous of your cover wall. Like I totally am obsessed.
I usually have like a higher like stool, but I'm in my comfy chair for this. But like I used to have a Jean Grey plaque on it, but I don't right now. But it goes all the way.
It goes and goes and goes.
Oh, wait a minute now. Is that
like X-Men
39? 39, right? The new
39?
39
costumes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
Gambit.
Yeah. I see the White Queen. What cover is that?
Yes. This one or that one? Up there.
The one-
That's the Mike Mayhew Marauders number 4.
That's the variant. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I had to hunt that one down. But no. These are my covers I like. I just put them on the wall so I can enjoy them.
I love that.
Yeah.
So,
I got lost in my train of thought. I looked at all those covers.
I totally started nerding out. I forgot the conversation we were having.
Yeah, where were we? Okay. Okay.
So we're talking about we were mentioning Days of Future Present and the double dips,
That's
and
ridiculous.
that it doesn't really matter because this collection's so old. And even then, like when something new comes out like that, that's for me, I'm like, all right, now I don't have to hold on to this anymore.
Right.
Like now I have something nicer that has less, like, because the rest of the stuff in here, I'm like, I've got that and this, I've got that and this. It's just those 4 issues.
Okay. So this is what I have so far, 86 through 100. Summer Special, Days of Future Present, Kings of Pain. I feel like this is Peter coming out in me, but just because I love this story, but X Factor Endgame. Anybody else feeling that?
X Factor Endgame. What is that?
I don't think I read that one.
It's like the best X Factor issues, dude. 65, 66, 67, 68.
Oh, because if we're gonna do Cable,
If we're gonna do Cable, we might as well throw the origin of Cable and where and how he got to the future, and that's where Cyclops said, "So I let him go." And one of the greatest X-Men stories ever. It was like Chris Claremont's last hurrah to me, even though it was kind of half plotted by Jim Lee and Will Portacio.
I think I have read. Is that the one with Apocalypse in it and they're like time to go?
God, yeah. And he was like, they say the eyes are a window to the soul. Oh my God. That damn story gives me goosebumps every time.
Is this the stuff that's in the Jim Lee Omni?
It is. It is. It's collected in there.
Isn't that the tie-in for Cyclops and Phoenix?
He mentions like, oh, this is the same spot that Jean died. What if Apocalypse created the weapon that killed her? There's a little bit of that in there, but it introduces the Dark Riders. Oh my God, absolutely love that story. And if we're gonna,
Cyclops and Phoenix is my like nostalgia read.
yeah, I can see that.
I love it. So I have a little bit of padding for you here. We also have Marvel Comics Presents number 79. It's a solo Sunspot story with John Byrne on art.
So
we have Marvel Comics number 71, a solo Warlock story that fits just before Extinction Agenda. And also Wolverine Reign of Terra, which like a bunch of the New Mutants appear in, and it's a full book Reign story.
You guys talk amongst yourselves really quick. I'm gonna go grab one more beer and then come right back. Okay, keep it going, Peter.
All right. Hello, folks. We're here with Crisis melting like a candle because it's summer in New Zealand. So, what current books? Ødfel, you mentioned the King in Black Valkyries tie-in. What other new stuff are you absolutely loving right now? Let's not spoil. The chat gets rowdy when we give them spoilers.
I absolutely am loving. So I love anything Kelly Thompson touches, and I'm very biased. But I absolutely love her Black Widow. I like want to sob with how she ended. Like it's a 5-issue arc. Read it if you haven't. Like Kelly Thompson's Black Widow is phenomenal.
It made me so viscerally uncomfortable at the end of it. I was like, oh, like it really.
And then issue 5 got pushed back, and I'm like, you can't do this to me. You know what you did in issue 4. Stop it.
You know what you did, Kelly Thompson.
Yeah. I don't know if you follow
what
her
else?
Story, but she literally was like, I'm sorry after issue 4 came out. I'm glad no one else I know reads Black Widow, so I'm glad.
I'm here. I'm here for every Marvel book that you read. You can always shoot me a tweet. Ryley, what's at the top of your or most recent read pile right now?
I have been maybe like 3 months behind on reading current stuff. So I've only, of that particular series, I've only read the first 2 issues, I believe. And I have been enjoying what I was reading. Work got stupid crazy. But the most recent thing that I read, and last night we tore it a new one on the Omnibus live show, was the JJ and Henry Abrams Spider-Man miniseries.
Wasn't it awesome, dude? That was like the best comic book I've read.
Dude.
I'm kidding.
Do we have to kick you off your own show, Omar? Melanie will give us that power if we need it.
So like I get to cheat and I get to read at work because I work at a comic shop. But like people were so pressed with how long the JJ series took to come out. Like every week, like, is it out yet? Is it out yet? And I'm like, no, this is like Doomsday Clock Part 2. Like just wait like 8 more months. Like I don't know when it's coming out. Like
Doomsday Clock Part 2, that bad?
Oh my god, no! Like it literally, like I think the last issue that came out before, like the one I think one just dropped, but before that, it was like at least I think 6 months in between books. Like
now, I wonder if that was Sarah Pacelli or if that was Abrams. And
it's Abrams and his kids. Sarah Pacelli can draw faster.
She was completely phoning it in, also for that entire miniseries.
Is she? But she's changed her art. Like I remember her changing her art in the pages of like Fantastic Four. I love Sarah Pacelli's artwork in Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so gorgeous. But I think, maybe this is like her new style she's more comfortable with. I just don't like it as much. But
so a couple current plugs for me before I hand it back to Omar. I love The Dreaming Waking Hours by G. Willow Wilson. It's like out of this world. Right now the art is I forget, it's somebody who I love and the name just popped out of my head, but it's like stunningly amazing. The guy who did the History of the Marvel Universe.
Javier
Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Stunning. New from Vault Comics, Picture of Everything Else. It's about murder in late 1800s, early 1900s Paris, who also is kind of like Dorian Gray powers. And it's like an awesome gay romance on top of that. Fantastic book. And once I have to also plug Philadelphia. Gotta love vampires in my home city. Super horrific. Great historical horror paired with modern day. Love it. Those are 3 of my favorite current books right now.
You're so New Zealand bound. You don't claim Philadelphia anymore, man.
West Philadelphia, born and raised, Omar, on a playground I spent most of my days.
I think that's got a copyright infringement against it.
I got it taken down, everybody. It's the end.
I will say, if no one's read Adventure Man, read it. It's probably one of my favorite indie books right now, that and Isola, but like Adventure Man, it's Matt Fraction, Terry Dodson, and it's like
I saw that
adventure story that's like a steampunk Indiana Jones that like I've been wanting forever. So like if you like
fill that perfect niche that's missing. Like it's something nobody else wrote. Yeah.
I feel like Fraction is one of these guys that I never really got into. I thought Casanova was pretty fun. I thought Casanova was fun. But I never really got into his Marvel work. I know like everybody praises Hawkeye, but I just thought it was okay. And his X-Men run was okay. I don't know. We never talked about that. All right. So are we good with the 4th volume? Like we got 4 volumes of Omnibus here. Is everybody going to buy these things? And what's going to be the cover of the last one? Because of course it has to be Cable, right? Like
it's got to be Cable. Do you make a Deadpool?
Oh no, dude, we got to cash Cable in. Where's it at? Let me see.
It's got to be 87.
Man. Cable and Wolverine. Come on.
Yeah.
Yes.
I say 87.
We're 93.
I really like 94. 94 is my favorite one. I think
good one.
That's the one with the gun that he stole from a G.I. Joe cover, but whatever. It's Liefeld. It's okay.
There's a lot of good ones.
Dope too.
Is that 93 with Wolverine jumping on Cable?
Yeah.
That's classic. Dude, didn't you love that era? Like, Cable just shows up. He's like, I'm from the future. And he's like, I know that guy. That's Wolverine. And you're like, oh, my God, does he know Wolverine? I know Moira McTaggart. He knows everybody. How?
And I think for days.
Oh my god, I love that era.
94 is, I don't know if you can find a better leaf filled cover than 94. I mean, Cable's so huge, his shoulders take up
Right,
over
like,
half the cover.
He's got the gun, right? And even though, like I said, he totally swiped that gun in the post, but
he's got a couple New Mutants on there too, which I think is important. It's not like a Cable and Wolverine book. Like Boom Boom is on there, Sunspot is on there. Like I don't know how you do better than that.
You don't.
Honestly, I agree. Like that one's pretty solid.
I'm a really quick show everybody what we're talking about. Ryley, what do you think, man? You've been quiet. What do you?
I feel like there's nothing more classic than 87. Like if you're talking about Cable and New Mutants.
Yeah, but I mean,
is it the most exciting thing?
But have you seen Cable's gun and Wolverine that have nothing to do with New Mutants? Look at. Tell me what doesn't that is the most manliest cover. Even like Boom Boom's not doing anything helpful back there. She's just standing behind Sunspot.
Yeah, no, this just like radiates like testosterone off of it. Like the longer I stare at it, and like the arm,
right?
Her hair, and like
I want to go to the gym right now to get as ripped as Wolverine.
I think if we're going with something else, also 97 is really good.
97. Which one is? Oh, yeah. That's part of the Extinction Agenda.
Yes, yeah.
Also, Wolverine with the ridiculous half of his mask staying on, but whatever. Sure, I buy that.
Oh, I love it.
If we wanted one with more of the New Mutants featured, like 90 is really good because it has Cable and then like a whole roster behind him.
What did they do in that epic?
But it's a more chill cover. It's not action-y, but it has like more of the New Mutants. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's like Cable coming in and going, "Hey, I'm taking over. I'm the new leader. Not Louis, not Wheezy. We're kicking Wheezy out. I'm leading the team." What a
It
good
depends on the tone. Like, do you want more New Mutants? Do you want just jacked Cable?
Jack Cable's what's gonna sell.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't read this epic yet, and I have to say the reproduction of some of this 90s art, which sometimes can look really scanned and crappy, it's good. I'm kind of excited to get, like, this is the summer special that we spent so much time talking about. Like, the line work on Boom Boom's face there is like pretty delicate and detailed. That's in a essential, in a epic. I think it's gonna look good, y'all.
Man, I love that summer special. What is that is a good question. What ended up being the final contents again? Anybody remember? So I can.
Oh God, I forget.
Hold on. Here's some of it. I wrote some of it down. New Mutants 86 through 100, Summer Special, Days of Future Present, Kings of Pain, and then Peter's like, "Let me add you some pages." What were those pages?
The pages were from Marvel Comics Presents number 71, Marvel Comics Presents number 79. And Wolverine Reign of Terra.
You're including Wolverine and Reign of Terra. Nice. Good Andy Kubert artwork.
Yeah, they have a couple of other scattered small appearances in that area, but it's like not worth it. They're in like 2 pages of Quasar 8. Like, could you excerpt the 2 pages? Sure. But they're really not in anything else remarkable in that period. Other than the X books.
Did my X Factor Endgame get vetoed?
No, you just didn't write it down, Omar.
Oh, okay. I thought it got vetoed.
Nobody vetoed you. The crowd went wild.
Dude, then if we're gonna go with that route, then we're definitely gonna go with the cover of 68. One of the greatest covers of any comic book ever. Even though it has nothing to do with New Mutants and not even Cable on the cover. It's just Cyclops pointing his finger. Oh, what a great.
I mean, you see what we got for the DM for Infinity Crusade.
Moon Knight. Moon Knight, what the hell, right?
I'm just so obsessed with the Infinity Crusade armor, and like I know it would be so pointless to reconstruct, but I'm obsessed with like Space Joan of Arc. Like,
wait, are you talking about the goddess?
Gold? Yeah, the gold with like the bob, like it's iconic. But I'm like, no.
You want to cosplay as her? Is that what you want to do?
I want to be Space Joan of Arc, yes. But like, it's such like an obscure. Like, people are gonna be like, "What the hell is that? Are you Adam Warlock?"
You go to a comic convention, they'll know. It's the goddess. Yeah, they'll know.
And I mean, I guess it's kind of related to the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 look, where all the golden people, like, people might mistake you for that if they don't know the comic really well. Here she is doing a whole Victor and Victoria look with Magus.
Let me highlight
Love
Peter.
it. It's so
Oh,
good.
just with that massive shoulder pad and then like the gauntlet that goes to the hinged elbow joint.
Yes. And like it's so campy and so good.
Did I not include Extinction Agenda? We're included Extinction Agenda.
We did.
Sorry
All of
about
it. Yeah.
I have it down, but I think we agreed.
Yeah. Sorry about that. That's on me.
So do you want those individual issues?
No, I got it. We'll just call it Extinction Agenda.
There's 9.
What kind of page count are we looking at here?
We are currently at 827 pages.
No, we need more.
More.
I don't like it.
Is that including Omar's other issues of
X Factor Endgame?
X Factor?
No, that'll give us another 100.
There we go.
There we go.
Throw, Liefeld had pages of all these characters that he created that he later used in Youngblood. Throw those all in there. Oh, do you remember of that it was in one of the annuals that was like things to come, and it had a picture of Magic with this new armor, and I remember getting excited. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. That never came. Like, he was a liar.
Those things to come teases were the worst. Like, I remember just poring over them and like having a piece of paper where I was like kind of drawing the outlines and then checking them off. Like, we've seen this thing, we've seen this thing, and
I did that with Jim Lee's Things to Come. I'm like, oh my god, they're bringing Ghost Rider in. Oh man, that was good. So final page count on this. What are we looking at? 900 or 1,000 pages?
We're at about 930 and change right now.
All right, throw in some extras. Let's round this up to 1,000. Call it a day. So 1,200. That's it. That's New Mutants Volumes 2, 3, and 4. Hopefully one day Marvel will release these, and then everybody can be like, I'm not buying that crappy Volume 3. Who the hell mapped that out?
Wasn't me.
Not us. There's no evidence.
I mean, really, Peter, if we're under 950 pages, is it really a book?
Isn't a book.
Is it really?
I don't know if it's a book.
Just toss
It's
in
more of
X
a pamphlet.
Force 1 just to like buff it out. There you go. Bye.
Like, let me tell you something, man. When I lift these Omnis, I want to look as ripped as Wolverine. Like, getting 2 Omnis, like, from that cover right there. That's when you know you're getting your movies worth.
Omni to work out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the only workout I get is when I'm reading books, so they might as well be big.
No,
Yeah.
Pete, no Charleston Chew issues.
Look, y'all. I literally, approached this like I was building a new comic guide, and I've actually been launching some new ones and revising some old ones. So I took every single major New Mutants cast member, including Cable, and I got their full appearances of ever, and then I get it all in a spreadsheet that kind of calculates which ones are similar, so I can get the total count of unique issues. And then I go through and I kind of vet each one in or out. Like, oh, there's only one in this. It's only on one page. We don't need that one. Or like, oh wow, there's 8 of them in this Power Pack issue. Let me go read it. Oh, they're in half of the issue it's in. So if there was a Charleston Chew comic that was in continuity to be had in this time, I would have it. So the place where my method fails is like pinups, out of continuity stories. That's what I don't get because my guides are all continuity based. So if there's stuff like that, I could have very well missed them. But if we're talking about in continuity stories, we have officially discussed them all on this, unless we just slipped and missed one line by mistake.
If we needed to buff out the back with just art, I'm sure there is like era swimsuit editions from then and just pump in a bunch of Cable swimsuit edition art.
That's right. There was that ridiculous Mark Pacella picture with Cable and his tiny head and tiny legs and giant upper body.
Oh,
Man.
the chat has been pounding the swimsuit issue drums this whole time.
Yes, full splash pages.
I miss swimsuit issues. Bring them back.
Thank you. Every time I do a Marvel Omnibus overview and I see the pages they add, I'm like, Marvel could literally print a Marvel swimsuit omnibus. Where's it at?
Swimsuit Omni.
There's enough for people that are into dudes. There's enough for people that are into chicks. There's enough like for everybody in there.
Give me like Carol Danvers on a surfboard. I'm great. That's good. That's all I want.
Give me that classic Jim Lee Psylocke with the gold swim. Oh my gosh, that was on my wall from the 7th to 8th grade until I brought a girl over in my room, and I'm like, she's gonna make fun of me if I keep that up there. Swimsuit Omni, man, we need to make that happen.
Oh my god, it's just like every swimsuit edition ever.
Yes. Oh, I'd love that swimsuit.
And it's like there can't be right tissues, right? It's not like they've got the art, it's all there.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I guess they just don't want to take the time to restore it because it's like swimsuit page art. But I would have 100% buy that.
I would super buy it in a heartbeat.
Let's map it out next time instead of doing an X-Men related.
It's just us putting up like hot people on the screen for like an hour straight, being like, definitely this one.
Absolutely. And then, like, can you imagine us fighting over the covers? Like, okay,
gosh.
we've got 18 variant covers.
It's got to be the Ghost Rider.
I forgot about that stupid cover.
I don't know, the one where Wolverine's like cooking sausages on the grill shirtless. Ridiculous amount of chest hair. Like,
is that Joe Jusko? One of those was Jusko, wasn't it? Yes.
He's using his claws like kebabs, though.
Yes. Oh, there were so many awesome freaking pictures.
Yeah, when are we going to get a 2021 swimsuit? Like they got a lot of time to make up for with these swimsuit specials.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm all over.
And
that.
very few publishers in general do like straight up pinup books, whether or not we're talking about sexy pinups or just like drawings. Zenescope is one of the only ones who will put out a full out issue of just pinup-y stuff. And sometimes I like those kind of issues. I don't necessarily want to go out and spend like $5 on one, but
look at that sexy.
When you have artists on the top of their game,
shorts,
that's the one I always think of, man. Is that Hildebrand Brothers? Who is it?
Let me see, but I just love those shorts.
Dude, where's
I
the
just
Nick?
think of that one, and
Stealth
then the
Freeze.
one where it's like Rogue floating
Freeze.
over Gambit, and they're both in swimsuits.
I love Nick Fury and Tony Stark in those tiny Speedo shorts, and like the way they're sitting, like it's John Romita Jr. too, so they're super like muscular, right? And I'm like, what are these two guys doing? Just hanging out on the beach by themselves? Awesome.
I'm loving this near mint condition after dark edition that we've rolled into here. Now that we got all this mapping done.
There's a recent image, I think that looks like Chris Anka artwork.
It does look like Chris Anka.
Well, that's just from his horny Tumblr or Twitter, right?
Yeah, of course. So just get a lot of those together.
Him and Robles, man. Just do a whole Robles sexy Nightcrawler issue. Robles draws the sexiest Nightcrawler that has ever existed.
I know that Udon released a swimsuit issue with all the ladies from Street Fighter and like Darkstalkers in swimsuits. That was it was a hardcover edition. It's a beautiful book. It went out of print quick because of, dudes. But then they brought it back into print, and it's back. What do you got? Is that Toad? What is? I can't see.
Oh, that's Kevin Wada or whatever.
I love Kevin Wada.
The Gambit?
Yeah,
I love how his style is so watercolory. Like, I'm obsessed.
I need to get something real quick. Speaking of Wada.
Is it a swimsuit?
It's just an X-Men, it's fine.
It's X-Men. I'm okay with that.
Part of what I like about mapping the idea of what if they ever cleaned up the art of old Wildstorm stuff is like Wildstorm just had legit great pinup books, and it was like Lee Silvestri, J. Scott Campbell, and I have every issue of Wildstorm that was ever printed. It was I was running after the moving truck that was leaving my house in the States, chasing it with my final issues.
All right, what do you got?
It's a
Wada?
Kevin Wada Pokemon print.
That's not swimsuits.
I bought from him at a convention back when those happened.
Oh yeah, I miss those. My wife is naming off hot dudes, fictional dudes. Orin from Final Fantasy X.
Yes.
Satan from Xenogears. I love. Are you up there drinking? Jack Skellington, and she's always had a big Roger.
You got it,
Rabbit.
Roger Rabbit.
It's the shoes. I don't know what it is about. Like maybe Jessica Rabbit.
Why do I imagine like a Roger Rabbit pinup being kind of like the suntan lotion baby, like turning like that, and someone's pulling his shorts down?
I just need like She-Hulk at the gym with like a water bottle. That's the pinup I want. That's all I need.
I remember, man, there were so many good ones. Mark Silvestri did some good ones. Eric Larson
I love
did
his art so much.
He's my favorite artist, so anything Silvestri graces is amazing. All right, what's the next book we're gonna map? Okay,
Swimsuit edition.
Swimsuit edition.
Omnibus.
That book is gonna be like that big, and I know nobody's gonna fight. Nobody's gonna fight me on what we add. It's gonna be 20,000 pages. What's do you all want to take something like modern, like Dawn of X? I still think that would be a fun episode. Like, how would we map Dawn of X, and how many omnis it would take to take us to X of or 10 of Swords rather?
Because the chronology is actually really tricky because I don't think it actually takes place in the order that the Dawn of X trades are putting it. Like some of the timelines
really.
like, do not match up. So that would actually be interesting to sit and try and make a map for Dawn of X. Not even just an omnibus map, but like a timeline. Because I mean, like characters will be dead and then show up in other books like the next issue. So like it's like all over the place.
Yeah.
That's X-Men for you, though. Like, right?
I have to plug my co-host on my channel, Tyler, who actually has been keeping a reading order of it as we go. And it's like this beautiful, it looks like the issue release calendar at the end of the pages with like black issues and red issues.
Yes.
So I might have to ask him to sub in for me if we do that because he's the master.
Tyler is awesome. All right. So, I don't know. Thoughts? Do y'all want to go that route? We can go another classic route. We can take something else. We can do like later runs of X-Men, post
we talked like the 400s era before about that being a possibility. We've mentioned maybe Excalibur.
Could map the rest of Excalibur.
All the way to 125?
Yeah, we go Excalibur from after the first omnibus all the way to the end. Or, I mean, we also have everything X Factor around the Peter David omnibus.
Let's wait on that because that one right there is that would be so. It's fun to map, but holy crap, that's a lot of work because we're gonna have to go around certain things, and then what do we go around? And then, I agree. I think Excalibur would be really fun. Is everybody okay with Excalibur?
It's my favorite comic of all time, right over Ødfel's head, right there. I have that signed by Chris Claremont.
Wow. Okay.
Yes!
Let's do it then. All right, everybody. Next, Map My X, which will be in March sometime. Will be Excalibur volumes 2, 3, and 4 because I'm pushing for 4.
Yeah,
I don't care what Ryley says. We can't make.
I already have the map, and it's 4.
All right. Yes, I can't wait to see what we get. All right. So
I love Excalibur.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, welcome aboard. It was very good to have you here.
Yes, it was super fun.
This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for the super chat, Mario Rodriguez. Spider-Man Volume 6. Yeah, we'll probably venture outside of X-Men after, we get X burnt out. That's the right term, I think.
A couple of people asked for Messiah Complex too, but I don't know.
I got that. I got that one.
I'm ready.
I'm ready all day.
That's one of my favorite eras. Yeah.
Yes. Never mind. I'll save it for the episode. So yeah, and if you're watching this later, leave it in the comments what you'd like to see us map. To everybody that's watching us live, thank you so much. We're at the 2-hour mark. This was so much fun. So we'll do a little roundabout here to talk about where you can find these wonderful, beautiful people. Peter, where can people find you if you're not hanging out with me mapping these crazy books?
Well, I am known as Crisis with a K all around the internet. My website, crushingcrisis.com, has maps of all of Marvel just about as they are currently collected in collected editions, and I'm updating them all the time. And if you're looking for me on other networks, you want to be searching Crushing Crisis or Crushing Comics as well. So on YouTube, I'm Crushing Comics. If you search for Crushing Comics, you'll see my full series of unpacking every book that I ship to New Zealand, as well as my weekly coverage of This Week in X. Maybe I can even get Ødfel to join us for This Week in X sometime. That would be awesome.
That would be fun.
Ryley, what about you?
Find me on YouTube as The Omnibus Collector. I've been doing a lot more manga videos lately, but I have a few comic videos in the works. I'm working on something for Superman, and I have some Batman stuff, and then I'll move away from DC and do I do have a couple of X-Men videos that I do want to make. So fans of X-Men, definitely check out my channel, The Omnibus Collector.
There we go. And Ødfel, what about you? Where can people find you?
I am all over the place. So if you want like random comic posting and cosplay, Twitter is my handle, but with wrong point direction. Twitter is this handle right here, but with a 0 instead of an O. I have toy unboxing stuff if you like X-Men collectibles on YouTube under Ødfel as well, but with an O. And then my Instagram is also Ødfel with an O, and I have a Facebook as well, and that's mostly going to be my cosplay stuff.
And her cosplay stuff is on point. Like Peter and I were talking about her stuff. Like
I love my campy's 80s costumes.
And and they're freaking awesome. So, everybody, y'all pretty much know where to find me, I guess, by now. But I will be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. for a live Q&A that we do every week. I'll be doing that with the astonishing Melanie, my amazing, wonderful, lovely wife. And I'll be back on Sunday. I have an episode every day, but we will plan this out, and I'll let everybody know on social media when the next Map My X will be. It'll be sometime in March. We do this once a month, and this is a lot of fun. So, everybody, please stay healthy, stay safe out there, and much
Be well,
love.
everybody.
Don't forget to hit that like button and check out these people.